Hey, good morning, guys. I am finishing up my blog series on gardening for beginners, and I thought I would give you one last little tour of the greenhouse. For now, I will be tuning back in probably in a month, maybe less than that, to show you what we're going to do from now. So let me just, hi Juliet, thanks for jumping on. Let me just flip the camera and I'll give you a quick little tour. It just started to rain and I was going to go outside, but I may just bucket up and go out there. I'm sick of this rain, but hang on a second. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I could shut this off, but let me just show you. There, that's a little more quiet. So we have got our salad mix. We have got our peppers. Nothing coming up on the peppers yet. It's still a little bit early. And we've got our tomatoes. And they are all looking very nice. Here's another one of those cool little educational things that you can see. That is a tomato seed that's right there on the end of that leaf. But we've got lots of tomatoes going on. We have the spinach. And let me explain to you, I talked about the second leaf in my blog yesterday, and that would be what this is. So this is the real leaf of a spinach. This is just part of the beginning growth. So when you transplant is when you see this second set of leaves. Some of these things aren't quite ready to do any transplanting. They're getting a little leggy in here, so we will need to transplant soon. But these are all different kinds of kale. That's the Russian red, which is one of my favorites. This one, not sure. Oh, this is more lettuce that's kind of not doing great right now, but I think he just planted this stuff. So these are the onions. Hey Angela, thanks for joining. And look at the little onion starts. That's so cool. I'm so excited. We did onion sets last year because our onion seeds didn't take, so I'm excited that these are actually doing something. We've got some red cabbage back here, and we've got the white cabbage. And this is crazy. What I videoed maybe Sunday, last week sometime, and these artichokes are already popping up. So that's the artichoke. That's my son's carnivorous plant selection. This is more mustard greens. Hi Charmaine, thanks for jumping on. Just showing you a little tour of the garden. I'm done with my series, my blog series. I don't really have much left to do now because we have things ready. So I'm going to wait now and do more when we start getting ready to plant outside. That's a little avocado plant. And there's some kind of little tropical thing that he's got. Our citrus is doing really well. I'm super excited. They have all this new growth on them. And what's really exciting is there's our first lemon. There is quite a few on this. There's some more. So I'm excited about that. This one is the tangerine, and it's going crazy. We've already had to prune it a little bit. This, whatever, 7-foot tall avocado is doing really well too. It got a little bit of damage to it because Grandma didn't water it like she should have. That was my fault. And then back in the back we've got our strawberries, some strawberry starts that we've done, and just some other cuttings and trimmings that we've done. And then there's the 2 banana plants. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little tour of the garden. I'm going to step outside and show you a little bit about what's going on outside. So hang tight. I'm going to put my hood up because it's nasty. But I'll show you a little bit about what we've got going outside. Because some of you have never seen our garden outside. So hang tight. Come on, doggies. It's nasty. So this is our little garden. We've got all these raised beds and the elevated beds. we do Back to Eden gardening, which I will be explaining in my next series. But I can take you out here to the garden and kind of show you what's going on. This is our potato bed, and I think we pretty much harvested everything. We will wait and see if we missed anything, because we'll see some plants coming up. But this is where our tomatoes and our potatoes were. This is where we had all the carrots and the beets and the kale. We've got a little strawberry pot going here. This is where we grow our green beans and our peas. This was actually our old swing set structure, and we are going to actually drop those boxes down to the ground so we have more height, because the beans and the peas grew way up over that fencing, and it was very hard to harvest. This is our little chives that have come back. Chives is something, sorry about that, guys. Chives are pretty much something that you can keep in the ground and they'll just keep coming back like this. But this is fresh chives. One's garlic chives and the other one is just regular chives. And you can see we still have spinach out here that has overwintered, and it's edible. And I even have a little bit of kale that has survived the winter that's still out here. So we'll till all this under. Nothing else is out here. This was my holy basil, which will have probably reseeded into the flower bed. And these are leeks that we haven't harvested, but we've left them in the ground. And this was my one lonely little Brussels sprout that I left in just to see what it was going to do. Hey Nicolette, thanks for jumping on. So let me show you. See, we've got our cages ready for the tomatoes. That's my little bench that I like to sit on. My hanging baskets. And we'll walk over to the other part of the garden. Come on, guys. Coco, come on. Oh, and that little caged area back there is where we grow the peas. So that was a little construction contraption that my son built. And that's a little box that he built that he had some stuff growing in. And we'll walk up here. We have not picked up, hey Kathy, thanks for joining. We have not picked up our compost piles, as you can see. Hubby needs to get out here with the tractor and it's just too wet. And this is the rest of the garden. So we've got our blueberries back there on the end. That was where the corn was. Probably do something different with the corn. This is the asparagus bed. All that leftover twiggy stuff is just this asparagus that went to seed. And then this was where we had all of our cucumbers and squash and zucchini and pumpkins growing. And this year we're actually going to go up with them and do some vertical walls, because they go crazy out here and it just takes up way too much space. My son actually transplanted some rhubarb, so I've got some rhubarb there and there, and we're just going to do some rearranging this year. We haven't laid out our plot plan yet, which we will, and those are my strawberry barrels that we will need to get some more bark chips on them because they got really dried out. It was hard to keep them watered this year. And that is my raspberry bed. And that was an old hoop house that we had, but we turned it into the raspberry bed. So that's my garden and our water barrels. And I'm just gonna, hey Pam, thanks for jumping on. Let me get my doggies. Come on, girl. Come on, let's go. I can't be in there. They dig in the garden and make a mess. Let me just go show you one more thing. Take you a little tour of the yard. It's so yucky out. Tired of this flippin' rain. It's March in Seattle. This is about when we all are ready to move. Just show you a couple more things. Getting a tour of my messy wet yard. But what we did last year as well was we planted grapes, and they are table grapes as well as wine grapes. These are watering troughs that we used, and I think they're doing okay. We got to do a little trimming. These two things are kiwi, and you can see there's a male and a female, and they are doing really well. They got new buds on them. And this is our other grapes that we have, and I think little shoots coming out of these, so I think we're okay. We'll just do some trimming, and those are poppy seeds or poppy plants that re-germinated. You can see there's a poppy flower right there. I just let them keep reseeding. But on one last thing, this is my son's little bonsai. Whole tour. This is his little bonsai. You miss the rain, Cynthia? I don't. I'll trade you places. And one last thing, we have what we call orchard mason bees. These little cells right now are plugged with mud. You can see. My husband made this one. Actually, he made all three of those. But inside those little cells are bees. They're not honeybees. They're called orchard mason bees. And they help to pollinate. And so we do this every year, and in the spring they start to come out, and I have to help them a little bit. If they're old cells, I have to clean them out. So and what's the difference with the grapes? Well, table grapes are really small, tiny little grapes that are edible, and sometimes they have, I mean, not edible, but you can eat them just plain, and they might have little seeds in them. And then wine grapes are bigger. They're bigger around, and they may not be as good for just eating off the table. They might be a little bit sour, but they're great for wine making. But the kind that we got are all edible, just because we don't know how to make wine, but we might try it. So anyways, I'm going in. It's nasty out here. But that's my little tour of our yard, and I hope you guys have enjoyed my blog series.